You already broke it once. That promise, the one you made at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, swearing to yourself that things were going to change. You broke it. And you broke it again. And somewhere along the way, you stopped believing your own word. That's the real tragedy, not the failure, not the setback, the fact that you don't trust you anymore. Sit with that for a second. Because if you can't trust yourself, who exactly are you following? I want you to think about the last promise you made yourself. Maybe it was to lose the weight. Maybe it was to leave that job that's been draining the life out of you. Maybe it was to finally start that business, write that book, call your mother back, forgive your father, get sober, get up early, stop settling. Whatever it was, you meant it. In that moment, you meant it with everything you had. And then life happened. The alarm went off and you hit snooze. The gym bag stayed by the door. The blank page stayed blank. And slowly, quietly, without a single dramatic moment, you let yourself down. Nobody clapped when you gave up. Nobody booed either. That's the cruelest part. The world didn't even notice. Only you did. Let me tell you something nobody tells you enough. Every promise you break to yourself leaves a mark. Not on your skin, on your spirit. It's a quiet erosion. A slow leak in the tire of your self-respect. And one day you wake up and you don't recognize the person in the mirror. Not because your face changed, but because your belief changed. You used to think you could do anything. Now you're not so sure you can do anything. That's what broken promises do. They don't just cost you the goal, they cost you your identity. But here's what I need you to understand today. Right now, in this exact moment, the fact that you're here, listening to this, at this hour in this mood, searching for something, that is not an accident. Something in you is still fighting. Something in you refuses to stay down. You can call it hope. You can call it desperation. I call it the last ember. And an ember, ladies and gentlemen, is all a fire ever needs. Let's talk about pain for a moment. Because I'm not going to stand here and pretend you haven't been through it. Maybe you lost someone. Maybe you lost a marriage. Maybe you lost your money, your health, your confidence, your direction. Maybe you're lying in bed right now, wondering what the point of tomorrow even is. I see you. I'm not here to minimize that pain. I'm here to tell you what to do with it. Because pain is not your enemy. Pain is raw material. Pain, uncultivated, becomes bitterness. But pain, disciplined, becomes power. The same fire that can burn your house down is the same fire that can forge steel. The difference isn't the fire. The difference is what you build with it. So today, we are not talking about motivation. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings don't last. Feelings lie. Feelings tell you to stay in bed when the alarm rings. Feelings tell you the goal isn't worth it when the going gets hard. You cannot build a life on something as unreliable as a feeling. Today, we are talking about something stronger. Something that doesn't care how you feel. Discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Let me say that again, because most of you have it twisted. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is love. It is the purest form of love you can give yourself. Because when you discipline your body, you are saying, I respect this vessel I was given. When you discipline your mind, you are saying, I refuse to let chaos run my life. When you discipline your time, you are saying, my future matters more than my comfort right now. That's not cruelty. That is the highest form of self-respect there is. Understand this. Every person you admire, every person who ever built something that outlasted them, they didn't have more motivation than you. They had more discipline than their doubt. They got up when they didn't feel like it. They showed up when nobody was watching. They kept a promise to themselves on the days it would have been so much easier to break it. That's the whole secret. There is no secret. There's just the choice. Made again and again and again, especially on the days you don't feel like making it. Now let's talk about the promise itself. Why does it matter so much? A promise to yourself? Because every other promise in your life depends on it. You cannot show up fully for your family if you can't show up for yourself. You cannot lead a team Raise a child, love a partner, build a dream. If the foundation underneath you is a graveyard of broken vows to your own soul, self-trust is the root system. Everything else, the career, the relationships, the health, the peace, those are just branches. You keep watering the branches while the root is dying. Stop. Go back to the root. Go back to you. I know some of you are tired. Not sleepy tired, soul tired. Tired of starting over. Tired of hearing, "You got this," when some days you don't got this. Tired of scrolling past everyone else's highlight reel while you're living in your lowlight reel. I hear you. But let me ask you something. How many times have you already survived the worst day of your life? Every single time, 100% of your worst days. You made it through. That's not luck. That's evidence. Evidence that you are stronger than the voice in your head that keeps telling you that you're not. Here's the truth about rock bottom. Rock bottom is not a grave. Rock bottom is a foundation. It's solid. It's the one place in your life you can't fall any further, which means the only direction left is up. Most people are so afraid of hitting rock bottom that they spend their whole life hovering just above it. Never falling, but never rising either. Stuck, frozen, comfortable in their misery because at least it's familiar. But you're done hovering. You've already touched the bottom, so plant your feet and push. Let me tell you what nobody puts in the highlight reel. The man who built the empire, he cried in his car before he walked into that first meeting that rejected him. The woman who changed the industry, she got told no. So many times the word stopped meaning anything to her. The champion. Before the trophy, there were 1,000 mornings nobody filmed, where the only audience was a mirror and a decision. Greatness is not the absence of struggle. Greatness is what struggle looks like, after it's been disciplined into shape. So how do you actually keep a promise to yourself? Not in theory, in practice, starting today. First, stop making the promise enormous. You don't have to transform your whole life in one day. You have to win today, just today. One promise, kept for 24 hours. Then you wake up and you do it again. That's it. That's the whole formula. Small, repeated, relentless. Second, remove the negotiation. Stop asking yourself in the moment whether you feel like doing it. Decide once, in advance, and then execute without a vote. The moment you open the floor to negotiation, your weakest self will always show up to argue, and your weakest self is a phenomenal debater. It will convince you that tomorrow is just as good as today. It is not. Tomorrow is where dreams go to die a peaceful, comfortable death. Do it today. Third, track the streak, not the outcome. Outcomes take time. The body doesn't transform in a week. The bank account doesn't grow in a month. The book doesn't finish in a weekend. But your identity transforms the moment you keep a promise. Every single day you keep your word to yourself. You are casting a vote for who you're becoming. Enough votes, and the election is over. You become the disciplined one. You become the one who follows through. Not because you tried once, because you did it again, and again, and again, until it wasn't a struggle anymore. It was just who you are. Fourth, expect resistance, and stop being surprised by it. Every single time you decide to grow, something in you will fight to keep you the same. That's not a malfunction. That's biology. Your mind is wired to protect you from the unfamiliar, even when the unfamiliar is better for you. So when the resistance comes, and it will come, don't panic. Don't take it as a sign to stop. Take it as confirmation. You're doing something that matters. Comfort never puts up a fight. Only growth does. Now I want to talk to the ones who feel invisible. The ones grinding in silence. Nobody's clapping for you right now. Nobody's posting about your comeback. You wake up, you fight your own mind, you show up anyway, and then you go to sleep and do it again. With no applause, no recognition, no proof that any of it is working. I need you to hear this. The middle of the story always looks like failure. Every single time. If you stopped a movie halfway through, you'd swear the hero was finished. You are not finished. You are in the middle. Keep the camera rolling. Let's talk about fear for a second, because it's sitting in the room with you right now. Fear of trying again and failing again. Fear that maybe you're just not built for the life you want. Fear that you'll disappoint yourself one more time. I want you to understand something about fear. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a compass. It points directly at what matters most to you. You don't fear things you don't care about. You don't lie awake, anxious about a life you've already given up on. The fact that you're afraid means part of you still wants it. Bad. So stop treating fear like the enemy. Start treating it like a map. I need you to understand the difference between people who change their lives and people who talk about changing their lives. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is not even intelligence. It's follow-through. The willingness to do the boring, unglamorous, invisible work, long after the excitement of the decision has worn off. Anyone can start. Starting is easy. Starting feels good. Starting gets applause. But the ones who actually arrive somewhere, they're the ones who kept showing up on the Tuesday nobody was watching. The Wednesday it was raining. The Thursday they didn't feel inspired. The Friday everything in them wanted to quit. That's where the whole game is won or lost. Not on day one. On the days after day one, when the newness wears off and only the promise remains. Let's raise the intensity now, because I need you to hear this next part in your chest, not just your ears. You were not created to shrink. You were not built to spend your one life apologizing for taking up space. Somewhere along the way, the world told you to be smaller. Smaller dreams, smaller voice, smaller expectations. And you listened. I'm telling you to stop listening. You have a fire inside you that has survived every attempt to put it out. Every failure that should have ended you didn't. Every person who counted you out was wrong. Every night you thought you couldn't take one more day, you took it. You are still here, which means you are not done. Stand up straighter. I mean that literally, because your body talks to your mind before your mind ever talks back. Stop walking through your life like you're apologizing for existing. Walk like a person who has survived everything they've been through, because you have. Walk like a person with a promise to keep, because you do. The world will treat you the way you carry yourself. So carry yourself like your comeback is already written, because it is. You just haven't lived it yet. I want you to think about the people counting on you, even the ones who don't know it yet. The version of your children who need to see what discipline looks like, the version of your future self who is either going to thank you or resent you for what you do starting today. The people out there who are one day going to need exactly what you're building right now. The strength you're forging, the story you're writing, the wisdom you're paying for in sweat and tears. You are not just doing this for you. You are doing this for everyone standing behind you and everyone still ahead of you. Let that raise the stakes. Let that raise your standard. Here's what I need you to do the moment this ends. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not when things calm down, because things are never going to calm down. That's a myth you tell yourself to justify staying still. The moment this ends, pick one promise, one, not 10, not a New Year's list. One some small enough to actually do today, and important enough that keeping it will mean something. And then do it, immediately. Not because it will change your whole life in one day, but because it will prove something to the only person whose opinion of you actually determines your future. You. Understand what's actually happening every time you keep a promise to yourself. You are rebuilding a relationship. The most important relationship you will ever have. Not the one with your partner. Not the one with your parents. Not the one with your boss, your friends, your followers. The relationship with yourself. Every kept promise is a brick. Lay enough bricks, and eventually you've built something no storm can knock down. A version of you that doesn't crumble when life gets hard. A version of you that trusts its own word again. I know change is uncomfortable. I know discipline is hard some days and unbearable on others. I know there will be mornings you fail, you skip the workout, you eat the thing you swore off, You scroll instead of grind. You say the wrong thing to someone you love. Here's what separates the people who transform their lives from the people who stay stuck. It's not that the successful ones never fail. It's what they do the next day. They don't quit the whole promise because they broke once. They just keep it tomorrow. One slip is not the end of the story. One slip becomes the end only if you decide to stop there. Get back up. Keep the promise the next day. That's the whole game. Let's talk about the version of you that's waiting on the other side of this discipline. Picture them for a second. Stronger, calmer, standing in a life you're proud of. Not because it was handed to you, but because you built it, one kept promise at a time. That person is real. They exist right now, in potential, waiting for you to stop negotiating and start showing up. Every day you keep your word is a day you walk a little closer to becoming them. Every day you break it is a day you walk further away. The choice is not tomorrow's choice, it's today's, it's right now. You don't need permission, you don't need the perfect plan, you don't need everyone to believe in you before you start believing in yourself. You don't need to wait until you feel ready, because ready is a feeling, and feelings are the least reliable thing in the world to build a life on. All you need is to keep one promise. Today, then tomorrow, then the day after that, until keeping your word to yourself isn't the exception. It's just who you are. I want you to remember something on the hardest days. Every person who ever built a life worth admiring had a moment exactly like this one, tired, doubting, wondering if any of it was even possible for someone like them. And they made a decision in that moment that changed everything. Not a big, dramatic, cinematic decision, a quiet one. They decided to keep going. That's it. That's the entire difference between the people who make it and the people who don't. They decided to keep going when quitting would have been so much easier and so much more understandable. So here is your moment, right here, right now, not when you feel motivated, not when the circumstances are perfect, not when you finally feel ready. Now, decide right now that you are done breaking promises to yourself. Decide that your word, to you, means something again. Decide that the pain you've walked through was not the end of your story. It was the forging of it. You were built for more than survival. You were built to rise. Not because it's easy, because you have already proven, over and over, in ways the world will never see, that you don't quit, not really, not permanently. You always come back. You are coming back right now. So stand up. Wipe your face if you need to. Look at whatever mirror is nearest to you and say it out loud if you have to. I keep my word. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it's not a hope, it's a fact. Because the moment you start keeping your promises to yourself is the moment your whole life turns. Not overnight, but from that day forward, every single day, you're building someone unstoppable. You have already survived everything that was supposed to break you. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still capable of becoming the person you always knew you could be. The promise is still there, waiting. It never left. You just have to pick it back up. Today, not tomorrow. Today. Go keep your word. The world is waiting to meet the person you become when you finally do.